Hi friends, it's Joan at 10 Pentacles Tarot, and today I've got a 2 for you tarot book review that I think you're really going to enjoy. These books are both by the same person, Andy Matzner, Andrea Bloom. So those are two different names that this author has used, and if you see either one, they are by the same person. So the first one is the Tarot Activity book. Now, I'm going to start a series or do another video on what is tarot good for besides divination, because there's so many ways it's being used right now in creativity, in therapy, just so many different ways. So these are two books that will start us off on that subject really well. And this one, the Tarot Activity book, again by Andy Matzner, says, did you know that tarot cards can have a rich and varied life outside of divination? They certainly do when you combine them with expressive arts activities such as writing, making art, and crafting. In this book, you'll learn how mixing tarot into the creative process is a fun and powerful way to stimulate your imagination. After all, each card is itself a mini artistic masterpiece packed with symbolism and meaning. This makes them natural tools for developing self-awareness and personal transformation. Whether beginner or advanced, if you have an interest in tarot, you'll find much to enjoy in this book. The nearly 100 activities and exercises will add another dimension to your experience with the cards. This book will also be useful if you're a mental health professional or art teacher who uses the expressive arts in your practice. Inside, you'll discover a wealth of creative and therapeutic ideas regarding how to incorporate tarot into the work you do with clients or students. Andy Matzner is a licensed clinical social worker, psychotherapist, and tarot card reader. All right, cool. So this book is available on Amazon. It is copyrighted by Andy Matzner, and it is a 2013 book. I believe it is self-published, but don't let that throw you, because it is a fantastic book. All right, so we're going to go through. Let's look. So we have a disclaimer. This book is made available with the understanding that the author is not engaged in offering specific medical, psychological, or emotional advice. And most good tarot readers do say that. This book's dedicated to Pamela Coleman Smith. I think all of their books are. And a book should serve as the axe for the frozen sea within us. Awesome. All right, so we have table of contents. There's sections, so there's an introduction, and then the first section is conversation starters, second section writing and journaling, third section arts and crafts, and then there's an appendix, and so on. So let's take a look. We have the introduction, how the book's organized, how to use the book, the power of ritual and why it matters, the structure of the tarot deck, tools and materials, your favorite tarot deck, extra tarot decks, art and craft supplies. Okay, so conversation starters. So in this section, there are a lot of activities. So I'm just going to pick one. Let me see where the next section starts, because I don't want to overlap. Okay, so in the section which is called Conversation Starters, let me just randomly pick one. All right, so the art of gifting. Let's just look at this one. Choose the tarot card that you would give to each of the following people as a gift. Explain why you chose the card you did. Okay, so the first one would be a person whom you love. Think of a particular person. A person whom you don't care for. Think of a particular person. A stranger, your current self, your inner child, a co-worker, or your supervisor. Okay, so that's interesting. That would be a cool conversation to have with someone or with yourself. All right, let's see. Here's another. Let's do the boon. What are you searching for? Go through your deck and find the card that represents the answer to that question. Once you've done that, choose another card that represents what will help you find it. Okay, and so these activities are really helpful, not only in thinking outside the box, but also in learning learning the cards if you're a new person to the tarot. All right, so let's look at the second section, writing and journaling. And let me find out where that ends so I can not overlap that again. Let's see, writing and journaling goes to page 151. So I'm just going to mark that for me with my hand. Okay, so writing journaling section. I'll randomly pick something here. Okay, so this one's called Your Ideal Self. Choose a card that represents, the objective is to choose a card that represents you in all your glory. Okay. When working on self-growth and moving along on your journey of change, it can be helpful to have a powerful image to inspire you, especially if that image encapsulates personal qualities you would like to possess. One way to begin to imagine your ideal self is to think about character traits that appeal to you. I would like you to consider how each of those characteristics might be healthy, healing, and empowering for you. Okay, and then the process. First, please make the following 3 lists in your journal. People from the past you admire, people in the present you admire. And after each person's name, you're going to write the reasons why you admire them. This exercise can help illuminate the qualities you believe are necessary for you to develop in yourself. Next, look through your tarot deck and pull out the cards that capture those qualities that you admire. It's important that there be something about the imagery or the energy of those cards that attracts you on a deep core level. Put the remainder of your deck to the side next to your new smaller pile of cards. In order to narrow down your choices and end up with a single card, you will be comparing cards in pairs. That is, take 2 cards and lay them side by side. Ask yourself which of the 2 resonates more with you. Keep the one that does, putting the other back into the original deck. Then take another card from your smaller pile and compare it with the one that you kept from the last round. Do this until only 1 card is left. Congratulations, the card you have in front of you represents your ideal self, at least in this moment in time. So, what do you do with it? You could build an altar or shrine, making your card the centerpiece. You could carry it around with you during the day as inspiration or protection. You can put it under your pillow at night, meditate with it, glue, tape, or otherwise attach it to your journal, stick it to your bathroom mirror, or use it as a bookmark. So those are all ways to keep in mind your thoughts about the cards and how you would like your ideal self to be. All right, cool. Now, the next section, and there's a bunch in here. Message from above, write a letter to yourself from the perspective of your higher power. That's cool. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Shortest story, use a tarot card as inspiration to create a short story that consists of 6 words. Whoa, talk about flash fiction. There's one about boundaries, to learn what boundaries are and why they're important to your well-being. Okay, so that is the journaling section. Now we come to the arts and crafts section. And I'll just show you a couple of these. And let me see if this is the last section in the book. Okay, yeah. Okay, so in the arts and crafts section, I always think this is pretty exciting. There's a vision board. Okay, well, to incorporate tarot cards into a pictorial representation of an important goal that you have. Okay, so I've done videos on vision boards. You could look at those. You could use tarot in them, and it tells you here how. The next thing, a visual gratitude journal. A tarot mandala, or mandala, however you pronounce it. I always say mandala, but let's see, here we go. And a Zen tarot garden. Oh, that's kind of really cool. It's to create a 3-dimensional symbolic landscape. Wow. Okay. So that is that. Now, the next thing, we have the appendix, one for the road. There's one more powerful ritualistic activity you can do with tarot cards. It doesn't fit neatly into the other sections of the book, so it gets its own. To gain clarity about an issue. Okay, and it tells you how you can do that. All right, so this is so cool. There's acknowledgments about the author. Again, they've been reading tarot since 2004. This says, made in the United States in Cleveland, Ohio on May 2025. Okay, but the copyright for the book was 2014? Oh, 2013. All right, so that is that tarot activity book. I know this is available on Amazon. I do not remember the price, but I'm sure it will be very easy to find if you're interested in that. Now, the second book that I'm going to review today by Drea Bloom again, the same person that wrote the first book, is doodling the tarot, connecting with the cards through creativity and mindfulness. And I think that these books go really well together, creativity-wise. I love the size of this book. This is a big book, and I'm in love with it. Okay, let me grab a ruler. I'm going to tell you how big it is. All right, so it is 11 and, well, let's see, it's 11 by 8.5. It's just the size of a piece of computer paper. And this one is 9 by 6. Okay, so this is a typical book size. I'm just getting all excited about this one because it's big. All right. Okay, this is what the back looks like. Again, I believe this is self-published. Let's see if the information's in the back like it was in the other one. Made in the United States, Cleveland, Ohio, May 1st, 2025. Wow. Okay. It seems this is just June, so these are brand new, but I remember seeing this before. I think this was out in a previous version before. Okay, but I had not seen this one before, so let's take a look. All right, so we have Doodling the Tarot. Now, what got me interested in this is doodling. I love doodling. I think it's a fun, creative process, and it's really cool. Okay. Okay, so here, copyright 2020, so copyright 2024, so this is definitely a newer one. Okay, also by Drea Bloom, also known as Andy Matzner. Tarot Journal, Questions to Awaken the Soul, Tarot Journal 2, Tarot for Transformation, and I have these books. I'm going to review them, so let me know if you want to see them right away. Tarot for Transportation, wow, Transformation 2, Swords and Pentacles, the Tarot Activity Book, which we just looked at, Everyone Has a Story, and Journaling the Tarot. I don't think I have all of these, but I have several more. All right, so Drea Bloom is a licensed clinical social worker, psychotherapist, author, and educator. She fell in love with tarot over 20 years ago and has never looked back. All right. Oh, here, it explains. Drea is also a transgender woman. Many of her books, such as the Tarot Activity Book, Tarot for Transformation, and Journaling the Tarot, were written under her old name, Andy Matzner. However, since 2022, she has written a number of books as Drea. So if you're interested in finding more of her published work, please search for both names online to make sure you don't miss anything. And if you want to learn more about her, what she's up to, visit DreaBloom.com, and I'll put that in the description box as well. All right. So, now I don't see, this one's different. I like this one. Okay. I like this a lot. I like them both. Okay, so here we go. A lot of people think, this is a quote from Philippe Saint Genot, a lot of people think that the tarot is about being psychic and getting psychic powers. Actually, the original meaning of psyche is soul. So the real power of the tarot is that it can help you live your psyche, your soul, with more creativity, more awareness, more imagination, more clarity, more understanding, and more joy. All right, so why doodling? Talks about why doodling and the tarot. And then it gives you each card. Wow. Okay, so there is a large grayscale picture of each card. Yep. Look at that. And you know what? I would be really tempted to color these too. Okay, so it says the Fool, and then his key phrases: entering a new chapter, living fully in the moment, embracing spontaneity, recapturing innocence, trusting your heart's desire, having faith that everything will turn out okay. And then you doodle whatever comes to mind about that card. Let's see what some suggestions are. Okay, so you're just going to doodle. There's no pressure when it comes to doodling. No expectations, no standards, no rules. The doodler is free to let loose on the page, to explore, to experiment, to be curious and open. That's why doodling is so special. It can lead to new insights and perspectives about anything. With doodling, the unconscious becomes conscious. This is self-reflection. This is self-discovery. This is self-growth. Doodling is playful and serious. It's rhythmic and repetitive. It pulls us into the zone where we enter a state of flow. So this is a book where you can do whatever you want. And this paper is kind of, actually, each page gives you 2. So if you happen to use a, well, no, it's not 2, but it's 1.5. And if you have a little bleed through, I think it won't bother that. But if I were you and I were using markers, I would put a blank page here just to prevent bleed through. But wow, this is so cool. So each card has its own page. There's a chariot, a world, Knight of Wands. And you don't, and these are Rider-Waite-Smith images, Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork. And you know, you just randomly pick a card like, man, the Ten of Swords, hitting bottom, feeling like a victim, putting other people's needs ahead of your own, shedding an old skin, starting a new chapter. That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And this one always makes me think of getting stabbed in the back. So I can imagine if I was feeling really betrayed or stabbed in the back by someone, I might want to doodle on this page and just let it all out. And again, you could use colored pencils, you could use crayons, you could use markers, you could just use regular pencil or pen. I just think this book has a lot of valuable possibilities. So, again, this is made in the U.S. It's dated May 1st, 2025. All right, friends, so I'm really excited about this. I want to get into it. I want to doodle. Like, let me give you one more example. Okay, the Four of Wands, honoring your accomplishments, celebrating good news, welcoming and being welcomed, being wanted, feeling happy, and leaving behind an oppressive situation. So, you could just go by your mood or, you know, again, whatever you want to do with this. I think this is valuable, and I think it could be very useful and very helpful. So, friends, that was my 2 for You book review. The Tarot Activity Book and Doodling the Tarot by Andy Matzner, also known as Drea Bloom. If you would like more information on her book titles, again, visit her website. And they are on Amazon. I've seen them. I've seen at least this one there. I hope I'm correct in saying that the others are there as well. So I can check before I do the description box and leave the information there. So friends, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so. It's completely free for you, and it helps me out a whole lot. I want to thank you for being with me today. I appreciate you so much more than you'll ever know. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is where you are, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.